Hey, I'm Toby Lawrence and I am a DJ, producer and remixer from here in Brighton. The It's a Sin remix came about just purely because I watched the TV show. I kind of wanted to do a remix which had the kind of energy of the Pet Shop Boys original and kind of make it a little bit more modern, a little bit more up to date, and obviously use Ollie from Years and Years vocals. And yeah, that's kind of how it came about. The one remix a week idea, it started out great as an idea and then slowly became a little bit of a nightmare. It's really stressful trying to do one remix every single week, because usually like the kind of last original track I did took months and months, and it took kind of like 6 months of just tinkering around with it, making sure that everything was sounding really good. One remix, few days just to kind of get everything sorted is a bit daunting, but enjoying it all the same. The response to the remix has been really cool. It's been playlisted on Gadio, which is one of the world's biggest LGBTQ+ radio stations. Just great feedback from kind of everyone that's heard it. I tend to kind of drown out all the negative feedback. Yeah, it's been really positive overall. It's been kind of weird because taking a lot of the original elements from like the Pet Shop Boys, it's kind of brought a much older like audience to my music, which is generally quite young. So that's really cool. Yeah, the remix is free to listen to and to download. The kind of reason we did that, I asked for a charity donation purely because of the TV show that obviously the remake is inspired by, and there are some amazing charities who do incredible work in the LGBTQ+ community for people who are dealing with HIV and AIDS. There is, if you're living in Brighton, the Terence Higgins Trust, Sussex Beacon. Those are two great ones. The GAY Foundation as well up in London do kind of HIV testing as well for HIV Testing Week. And there's loads of other ones as well. So obviously I don't have a preference of which one you donate to, as long as you do donate. Yeah, I think there's a number of reasons why It's a Sin has broken so many kind of streaming records. I mean, we're in a lockdown, so everyone's got time to watch TV, but I think really it's the first drama of its kind which showed the kind of AIDS pandemic in the 80s through a kind of younger lens, so people who were kind of in their early 20s who were just, dying of this kind of mystery disease. So I think it's really kind of shone a light on that, but it's also kind of shown the other side to it, which probably doesn't get mentioned a lot, is the kind of real fun, exciting time which was growing up as a gay member of the community in the early 80s, when clubbing was massive, when music, there was so much incredible music in the 80s, so there's that whole side of things as well. It's not all just doom and gloom. I think the show's kind of got a real heart to it, which I think is why it's been so successful. I think loads of other people this year are going to get the treatment. It's going to be one remix a week for 2021. Currently I've got a massive list of people that I want to remix. Up next is a remix of Kathy Brown, Turn Me Out, which is one of my favourite house vocals of all time. So yeah, really excited to kind of get started on that. It depends on the project for how long it takes me to do a remix. At the moment, trying to do one a week. Probably about 3 or 4 days, just full on tinkering with it, making sure it sounds good, coming up with ideas. But usually I have a lot longer, so I'll do things for 6 months and kind of go away and come back to it and change things. But for this kind of project, it's been really interesting to kind of almost detach from the creative process and just think, this is probably good, let's just run with that, because you've got so little time. My biggest musical inspiration, there's two, both Brighton based. Number one, DJing, and just someone to kind of look up to is Fatboy Slim, just in terms of energy, what he does on stage, and just the atmosphere at any single one of his gigs. If you haven't seen him live, if you haven't been to a Fatboy Slim DJ set, you need to, because it's just unlike anything else. Like, the amount of, just the way he gets people to move and go crazy is ridiculous. So yeah, got a big soft spot for Fatboy. The second one isn't kind of in terms of production, my favourite production duo of all time, the Freemasons. They kind of took over house music in the early noughties with massive remixes of gay icons such as Beyonce, Shakira, Whitney Houston, and they just have this innate ability for taking a vocal and taking an original song and making it so much better. James, one half of the Freemasons, James Wiltshire, also runs a company called F9 Audio, who do amazing products if you're thinking about getting started with music production. I've always said that what that man doesn't know about music production isn't worth knowing. So yeah, hit them up, they're amazing. Top 3 favourite clubs to DJ in have to be number 1, Revenge in Brighton is kind of my spiritual home. I love it, absolutely adore it here. I've been lucky enough to be one of the resident DJs for coming up to 6 years now. Started off on Thursdays and just kind of gradually try to take over every night, but I can. Level 2 up there is just my home, and I love everyone that works there. I love all the customers. It's just an awesome club, and I'm very proud to work there. Number 2 has to be Heaven in London. It's such an iconic venue. In fact, it even showed up in It's a Sin. It's been around for ages, so to be able to be a part of that history is incredible. Being a resident of Popcorn on a Monday night, although, you know, people don't usually associate Monday nights with clubbing, you know, 1,500 people through the door, just a dream to play for them. And Kane and the rest of the creative team there are absolutely incredible, and I just love working there. Number 3 has to be HB in Portsmouth. It's kind of where it all started for me. I started out on a Sunday night playing in HB for like 40 quid, I think. And ever since then, it's just been the place that everything kind of kicked off. I went from there to Brighton, and I still am lucky enough to be the Friday night resident there, and it's just nice to kind of go back to Portsmouth every week and see all the people that I kind of grew up with. It's great. What are my top career highlights? Good question. I've done a lot of weird stuff as well as like really cool stuff. So in terms of just generally awesome stuff that I've done, the Brighton Pride Street Party, I was lucky enough to play there for the last 2 years. Kind of playing to 10,000 people is just amazing wherever you are, and to do it in kind of my hometown is just a dream come true. Absolutely loved it. Also done like London Pride, the kind of parade, DJing on a float for Tesco, I think it was, just with like loads of smoke going off and just dancers, and it was just an awesome atmosphere up there. It was a great day. Also with Gadio, I got to kind of fly over to Michigan and do some shows kind of highlighting why Michigan has so many amazing LGBTQ plus places to travel. It was really cool. We got to go around like rural areas of America, which I normally wouldn't ever be able to go to, so that was awesome. Also had a few weird gigs. For the same London Pride weekend, Tesco wanted me to DJ in one of their stores, so I DJ'd in a Tesco Metro on Regent Street, I think, but they put me right by the meal deals, so I was trying to play like all these like gay anthems, and like there was like Gloria Gaynor playing, but I was like just stood in front of the crisps, so anytime somebody wanted one I had to kind of stop my mixing, go down, pick up the crisps and give it to them. So not the best gig of my career, but it's something to say that I've done.